All right. Thursday, April 25. We're getting started here. So, talk about this in a second. I did win. I did win the opening trade. But I also, so I won, but I also YOLO'd on one of my evaluations that just renewed and reset. So, talk about that in a second. Amma, good morning. You watched V trade the orb live. Alpine said he's cool with that. Interesting. I mean, I guess he's got to be cool with it because he's already been doing it for months. So I don't know how Alpine's going to stop him now. It's the only thing V's got going on is the opening trade. He doesn't do anything else anymore. So I won the opening with the usual standard trade. I'm going for 22 ticks, and I did it on 3 accounts. What I did differently today was I had this evaluation 35 that renewed and reset that I had previously blown up. So I paid $30 for it at midnight, and I just decided I wanted to see what would happen and if it would work if I just YOLO'd that account. Since I've already got 1, 2, 3, 4 evaluations that are very much likely to pass coming up soon, I thought I would take this one oddball that I just got back and try to trade it with 10 contracts and go for 61 ticks and just try to pass it in one trade. So it was more of kind of like a test than anything. And as you can see, I entered it. It went all the way down in this one bar. I think I was up around $2,400 or something at the bottom of this bar is what I could tell from over here. And then the thing bounced back and, and took me out of the trade before it obviously would have gone and worked. So I think if I was a little bit tighter, it would have worked, but I don't think it would have made sense to really be much tighter. I mean, this is my entry here. So maybe if my entry was here, that probably would have worked before it bounced back, but that's fine. I just want to test it out and see what would happen. I might even buy an account for tomorrow and try the same thing again and see if that works. If it doesn't work tomorrow, then I guess I'll stop. But if it worked tomorrow, I might do it again on Monday and Tuesday leading up to the end of the 1-day pass and 80%, and then just see what their next promo is. But because I know this will work, like on a number of days, this will work. Today I just got a little bit unlucky. With it. I was literally $600 away. So I don't know how many more ticks that is with 10 contracts. I'm too tired and it's too early in the morning to try to do the math. But I suspect, I suspect if this candle just did this, in one candle, I would have had it. So I'm not going to include that loss on the chart because that's not really the trade. This is the trade. This was just a YOLO. So I'm going to just say the trade is working. And, I continue to be, I continue to really have no losses with the actual strategy, which is for me going for 22 ticks and not max contracting. All right. So Amma says I fumbled and hit the button at 9:30 and got filled long on the way up. Was afraid because of the downtrend. Lucky I won. Oh, interesting. So you were probably in, I guess, on this candle somewhere and went up. Yeah, I mean, The thing when you're trading it, because it's like it really happens right at 6:30, so you really have to be in before 6:30 with your orders. And since we're trading on prop firms, I think you need to be in at least 10 seconds before the 6:30 or 9:30 Eastern open. If you're trying to place it right before the order might not work. There might get an error message, or if you're cutting it too tight, then you might just make a mistake. So anyway, I made the 212 on evaluation 29. So I'm now just over 400 away from passing that one. 33 I didn't trade, 34 I didn't trade, 35 is the one I did 10 contracts and YOLO'd for 61 ticks. I wonder how many ticks it got to. I'm not sure. And then evaluation 36 is the one that I've only traded with the Alp Orb and won on that one. So now I'm $310 away. I just want to point out that on this account, if this were a PA, I would have already just qualified for a payout in 12 days. So that's the reason why I've only traded the open trade on this account and no other trades. I wanted to see, one, if I could do it in my first trades without a loss. Can I get there without blowing up the account? And would it qualify for a payout if it was a PA? So that's already proof of concept for me. I was able to do it on the first try on the first account that I ever traded the open with. So that's a nice sign for me. And I'm $300 away from passing that one. So really, maybe the next trade I try to do 3 contracts and see if I can pass it. I'm not sure. I'll think about it. Or I'll just do the standard thing. And then, the last trade will probably only need to be $100. So maybe I'll just do 1 contract on that one. And then I traded PA6, just with 1 contract still. Now I'm above 26,000. So another 600, and that qualifies for a payout. So basically I'm in the same place where I was yesterday. This account was an admin yesterday, it's an admin today, and that's why I decided I would YOLO it with 10 contracts and just see where I end up. I'm feeling so confident with the open trade, for the normal size, and so confident with what I'm doing with my trading overall right now that I know that, out of these 4 accounts, all or most should be able to pass, right? So I did 1 less. I've been trading 3 of these accounts of those 4 every day on the open. I decided to just do 3 of them today since I was potentially going to pass 1. And then I didn't want to risk, if it happened to be a day where it lost, there was no sense in risking 3 out of 4 of my evaluations today when I had that extra evaluation. So I did 1 less of the evaluations today, just so that if something went wrong, I would have 2 evaluations still to trade with instead of only 1, and without buying more, that is. And then I'm doing the usual thing with my PA account for now. So I'm just trading 1 of those on the open. My near-term plan and goal and hope is that I will get this payout by this upcoming payout window. I'll qualify, and then I'll have that payout coming. I should have some more past evaluations that are going to be PAs by then, and then I'll be able to trade another PA or maybe even 2 PAs on the open, depending on how many PAs I have overall. And then I always have, a couple PAs that aren't traded on the open in case anything goes wrong. And then I'll start new evaluations and start the process with that and really start trying to get the ball rolling. So having said all that, Amma says, yeah, this is life-changing. The orb is giving us a lot of confidence. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I really wish I started earlier because I understood, honestly, what Alpine was doing months ago. I'd say really by maybe January, February, I had a really solid idea of what he was doing. Like I probably could have tried it and probably could have had the same success I'm having with it now. But I just, for whatever reason, I wasn't there to consider trying it and consider waking up earlier to actually do it. And it took me until it took me. So hopefully I didn't wait too long. But as long as I can keep trading this way, I'm going to, and it seems like it's gonna really give me that last bit of edge I need to move things along here in my journey. So Amma says the orb is even helping me with my Riz. What's Riz? Oh, what's Riz? Confused. All right, so that's the open trade. I mean, the regular trade worked instantaneously. I mean, so fast. You know, I was in and out of this thing before I even knew it. Like, I didn't even see me win on this side. And I was already a winner over here, and then I looked over here and the candle went all the way down to here and I was up like $2,400. I was like, oh wow, this is gonna actually work. And then it made a new low and shot all the way back up, and I was like, wow, well, it was so close to working, but it just didn't happen this time. So what can you do? No big deal. Oh, wooing girls, got you. Got you. Okay. All right, so back to now my normal strategy, and I'm just taking a look at my charts now. I had 4 charts when I was done with the open today that I was happy with, and then now I actually see that one of these charts is no longer good. So I gotta find one new chart. I'm just gonna kind of switch things around here real quick. So I've got 3 charts now, and I'm just going to be looking for a 4th chart. Yeah, I think I can do this. That looks good. So this is going to be my biggest chart that I'm using. All right, so let me just turn off my screen real quick. I'm going to flip over to have my sim account be the leader here. And I'll copy trade to my Apex accounts that I want to trade for my BS strategy. All right. All right, so what am I going to do first here? I think what I'll do first is what I've been doing lately. It's just trading my PA number 7 for one contract and put a little feeler out there to see if my strategy is going to continue working on the first trade, and then go from there. So yeah, the open trade was really an easy one today, honestly. For anyone that's been doing it and has experience with it, it was really easy. It made sense it would be the short. And honestly, it really made sense that it bounced where it did and took me out on the 10 contract trade. I was just hoping it would go far enough to just be a quick winner. Maybe I need to test that out. The problem is it goes so fast, it's hard to kind of do playback on that and know if you really would get liquidated or not on the Apex account. But even if I had done, I wonder I wonder how many contracts where I wouldn't have gotten stopped out. If I was in for 8 contracts and went for more ticks, I wonder if I would have survived that or not, but who knows? It's hard to do the math. But when you're just playing it normal, it's just such an easy trade. 22 ticks is like nothing during most of the opens. All right. So, this account didn't exist yesterday and now it doesn't exist again for another month. I'm sure I'll be adding more evaluations during this 80%, whether I'm going to continue trying to do the 1-day pass on the open with more accounts, or if I'm just getting more evaluations in preparation for when I have all these PAs and to keep building behind those PAs. So one way or another, I'm definitely buying at least a handful of more evaluations coming up before April 30th. What I'd really like to do is, other than the YOLO thing, what I'd really like to do is get these evaluations passed, at least a couple of them. So like this one will pass Monday, I guess, unless I do 3 contracts tomorrow. Same thing with either one of these accounts, I guess. Maybe this one is closer. I can also get this one passed by Monday. So I think depending on how many I have passed, maybe I'll arrange for there to be another 4 behind them when they're all PAs. Hopefully they're all PAs. I don't want to plan too far ahead because, it seems like you do that and then plans don't go the way you expect. But we'll see how it goes. I could easily end up taking a trade on my normal system on one of these accounts I haven't traded yet today, and something could go horribly wrong. So we'll have to see how things end up. But yeah, I did watch back most of Alpine's stream yesterday. I usually just like high speed at like 2 times speed after the fact, and then just kind of skip through and find things where it's interesting what he's talking about. And I did hear the part where he said he called V and they worked it out. So that's cool. I think just, Alpine is just honestly just a really nice guy. So most people I know wouldn't have done something like that. He's just being kind of like the bigger person and just trying to be cool and not having beef with people. And I think that's respectable. I also saw that apparently MFU, my funded futures, apparently banned Alpine from trading anymore on their accounts, which is hilarious. Because I've seen Alpine talk about how they try to recruit him to be sponsored by them. They are offering him a deal to just trade exclusively with them at one point, like months ago. And, this guy Sage was in Alpine's Discord, always trying to like be cool with Alpine, but then always dissing Apex and trying to say, saying it without saying it, that the way Alpine was trading was, what's the term he always uses, like sim abuse, which is stupid, ridiculous. And this guy was just talking so much shit in Alpine's Discord, and Alpine finally banned him from the Discord. So I think it seems like it's just it seems like it's just this guy's way of payback. Honestly, is you ban me from your Discord, I'll ban you from MFFU, whatever it's called, my funded futures. All right, I just had a chart here. There's a first entry here, second entry here, failed, but I mean, it looked like garbage. It wasn't like a trade I would take, but I can't trade that chart anymore. So I'll have to look for another one at some point, maybe. We got really big move up here, recovering the sell-off. Give this a shot here. Move the stop. Oh, shoot. You know what? I didn't change my strategy. Does that matter? No, it shouldn't matter. You know what? This didn't take the trade on. What happened? It didn't take the trade again. Did I mess this up? That only took it on my sim leader. Did not take it. I didn't mess it up though. What did I do wrong? I mean, usually I have this on that, but that shouldn't matter. It just didn't fill. Didn't fill on my Apex account. That's a bummer. Try it again. All right, filled here. Something strange is going on here. This is not my normal strategy. All right, well, this is going against me too, so this might be a blow up the account situation. We'll see. All right, it's going back. This is not. I'm a little confused. Something is a little bit off in my ATM. It's a bummer if this one doesn't work after the one I originally tried to take did work. But I think this should work. I mean, especially I've got my 11 tick scalp going here. So we'll see though. It's been a strong push up. Maybe this account's going to be in trouble. I've got what I have 750 in drawdown on it. Seems like it's wanting to push up. Yeah, so this account might be in trouble here. What's it gonna do? All right, a little bit of a bummer because the trade I wanted to take worked and I didn't get into the account on my P account, or into the trade on my P account. And so it's set up on this chart too, and I took the trade. So if it doesn't work out, it's a little bit of a bummer, but just is what it is. We'll see what happens. Definitely is feeling like a bull flaggy, wanting to push up situation at this point. Yeah, this count is potentially going to be in trouble here. I already technically lost the trade on this chart, but you know, I'm putting the accounts at risk on these trades from now on. So we'll see if it saves me in this case. Seems like it's just going to shoot up. What's happening there? That was weird. Yeah, so this is a real bummer that I didn't get in where I was supposed to be in here. This one won, but it didn't put me in the trade on the account. So then I took it on this chart. So at this point, I'm just in the hands of the market. If I can get lucky, I mean, if I see an opportunity, I'll try to add a contract, but I don't really have much room to do that with this account. So I'm just hoping that I get lucky and get out of this trade because I didn't have my stop where I used to put it. This account's likely a goner, the way this is going. I'm not going to add a contract. I'm just going to see if I can see if this thing will go down far enough for me. Because if I add a contract, I'll be dead right at the top here. So yeah, here's going to be where the push happens. It's too bad because if I did try to sell on top here, I could have probably scalped out and survived a little bit longer, but we'll see. I mean, I've been trying to dig this account out of the mud for quite a while now, so if I lose it, I lose it. It's better just concentrate on accounts that are doing well. But if I survive, I won't be mad, so we'll see. Does it want to be nice to me? I hate when the market does this. It like gives you hope, and then if it doesn't do it, it's like, oh man, why didn't you just take me out faster? Let's see. Maybe I'm getting lucky here. A little bit further. Come on. You're within ticks. Oh, see, this is where it plays games. All right, almost. All right, out of the trade. So this is a situation where technically this is a loss on my chart. And I can't trade this chart anymore because this is not what I look for when I'm looking for winning entries. But because I'm now doing what Alpine Trader does, risking the full account, the max risk is the account itself. So putting the stop above the signal bar is kind of left over from Pat's trading, max Pat's trading, and I don't do that anymore. That's just kind of a old leftover rule that I used to go by. And this is a good example of where it saves me by not doing that. Saves me from an unnecessary loss. Just stay in the trade, risk the account, and if I lose the account, that's fine. And in this case, it worked out. So I know it's a lot to risk for $50, but it's not, because the $50 isn't real, and the max risk is 200 on a PA account for me. So I got to figure out though what happened. My ATM was all messed up. It's not the ATM that I was supposed to be trading, and Let's see. So this was 11 ticks. So I gotta sort out what happened there. All right, so it's a day 19. Definitely didn't go how I wanted. And I mean, quite frankly, you know, this was the trade I tried to take. And unfortunately, only filled on sim for whatever reason. So I don't know. It seems like more and more, maybe I just need to trade directly from the account that I want to trade from. It's just annoying to have to go in to the chart trader for each trade and do that. But it seems like I'm having more problems than it's worth with using a sim leader, quite frankly. I don't have these problems when I use a Apex leader on Replicanto. It's only when I'm using a sim leader. So look at this. Now it's gone. So in the meantime, this chart is still good. This chart I can't use anymore. Oh, I didn't update my stats. Do that before I forget. So 2-0, luckily. 6-0 for the week, and now I'm at 200 wins for the year. It should bring me to 82%, pretty sure. Let me see. Yeah, rounding up barely 82% on the year. All right, so, you know, it's interesting. I mean, it doesn't feel good when the trade's working against you and you're moving your stop and going to risk the whole account, but it saved me here. And like, look how unnecessary of a loss that would have been if I had my stop, you know, one tick above here, or even a few ticks above here. It would have barely stopped me out. How many times has that happened to me? How many times in my 45 losses, you know, has that happened to me this year? Like, you know, probably on two hands, honestly, where it barely stops me out and then goes in my direction and would have ended up with a win. So, yeah, just a decent example of, you know, if you're willing to risk your account, you might end up getting out of the trade for a win instead of taking a loss that you have to build back from. So now, where are we on this account? I've got 600 plus another 150. So I'm at 750 in drawdown on that account. I don't know. I guess there's no reason for me to continue using the sim account, or is there? Well, let me go through this actually. So let me just do a little housekeeping here. Saggy, how you doing? Welcome. I'm not sure when you arrived. I've been a little distracted by this last trade that I was in. That was working against me after I got in, but I didn't have my stop where I used to put it, and it saved me from taking a loser. And it was interesting because I actually tried to take that trade here. and it only entered me on my sim account only, not my Apex account. And so that would have been an easy win. But unfortunately, it only gave me a win on the sim account. So, how many? I think I only have one chart, it looks like. That remains good. So, this is the only chart that I have that's still a good chart. And then let me see here. So there's a first entry above this green bar. That means this is a second entry. So you gotta see if this works for profit target. And I just gotta check my ATM here. So the ATM is correct. No, that's not the one I took the trade on. Let me see here. I see. My ATM is incorrect on this chart. That's why. That is why. Now I see. All right, so I had the wrong ATM chosen on my chart. And that's why this last trade was set for only 11 ticks when I was actually trying to have a setting to capture more. It wouldn't have really mattered in this case, the way things played out. I wouldn't have gotten more. All right, at least I know what I'm doing here now. Saggy says, done with one trade, great trade, trading with one micro contract and caught 50 points. Plus $100. Nice, $100 on one contract on micro is that's nice. Still trading small to gain confidence. Well, that's a good one to work towards the confidence. Congrats on that trade. Yeah, it's like you get a move like that, and you just think to yourself, "Wow, man! Imagine if that was on a mini contract, right? That would be killer." But I understand what you're doing, and I think you're doing the right thing. Just trade small and work your way towards going bigger eventually. All right. So kind of a strange morning for me, just because I'm doing things a little bit differently. And the biggest thing is just the fact that I YOLO'd a evaluation, which I never do, to try to pass in one day. And but it really is funny. This would have bothered me if I tried to YOLO and lost once upon a time, but it doesn't bother me because I knew what I was doing. And, quite frankly, I knew the risk was high of just blowing up the account. And the reason why psychologically it doesn't affect me is just because, this account I've already been without for a long time now, and I've just been trading the other accounts. So it's exactly where I was yesterday in terms of where my accounts are. The only difference is I spent $30 last night on this account to renew it. And then just the weirdness, I guess, with this not getting filled on a trade that would have worked. And then ending up to take it on this chart. Was this the chart that I took it on? Oh, I see. I put it in the wrong spot. This is where it should be. That's where it should be because it was when it ticked under here was the second entry short. Not the prettiest of entries, but I think because of what happened here, and I really thought it was actually going to go down to the EMA just from that point, but it took a little bit of a consolidation before it went there. All right, so I've got to figure out what I'm doing now because this is the only chart I have. Wait, no. This is the only chart I have that's good. This would have been a winning trade if I was prepared to take a trade at that point. So I think I have to look for new charts. See what the daily looks like. Yeah, so very likely could be going down to retest the lows, or maybe it gets stuck up here and then eventually reaches the lows over here at some point. See how that goes on the daily. My daughter's waking up and saying she's not sleeping. All right, so do I have any other charts? That's the question. I'm definitely like a person of routine. And so having these things being a little bit different this morning, the YOLO trade being something I'm not normally doing, and taking this trade on the back of this trade not getting filled is also something I don't typically do. So I don't know. I actually am feeling some sort of way. Like I'm feeling some sort of way right now, which is not good for my trading. Just like feeling a little bit unsteady, if I'm being honest with myself. Because when this happened, I really should not have been entering this trade, is the truth. Let me talk to my daughter and her monitor real quick. All right, I think my wife is handling the situation, it seems like. So yeah, what am I going to do here? Because I don't want this to keep happening. I don't want to keep having copy trader issues. All right, I gotta go check on my daughter. I'll be right back. Okay, actually my wife got her. Okay, so like I said, I'm kind of feeling some sort of way, just uneasy, mostly because I did get in this other trade after this one didn't fill out my Apex account. And I think that was a little bit, I kind of did that a bit impulsively. And on this chart, I mean, that's not a trade I really want to take. You know, the trade I wanted to take was this one, and it already worked. So I really was kind of like needlessly putting this account at risk just because I missed it. And I'm usually better about not doing things like that. So the fact that I did that today, I just got to check myself and be a little bit more careful. Because this is really just not a good trade, you know. Yeah, I don't know what to say, but that's the reality. So I think also the fact that I just don't want to have these copier issues anymore. So how am I going to deal? And it also just makes me a little bit apprehensive about trading PA8 when I'm kind of doing things out of my norm. You know, it doesn't make me feel confident to take a trade on that account. So what shall I do? I think I will switch to account 34. And so let me, I'm going to not use my copier at this point. I'm going to turn off my screen real quick. And I'm going to change this account on the YouTube screen here to just match the account that I'm going to trade next. So the thing that sucks is, you know, I'm not going to be able to see the markers of my previous trades this way on the charts. I'm going to have to like switch to them. Yeah, I'm going to have to switch to each account when I show this later where my entries were. But it's just going to be kind of a necessary evil at this point. And then so let's make that 2. And then let me see. So if I put in an order, it's for 2. Okay. Saggy says, I think you have exact 220 in profit on 220 on profit on app account from last 4 or 5 days. How? Oh, so are you asking me about this one? Really, so the opening trade, I'm trading for 22 ticks, and I'm trading these accounts with 2 contracts. So that's how it's 220. So 220, but it's really 212 because the commissions get taken out of it, and that's all that really matters. This 220 number doesn't mean anything. It's really just the P&L column that matters here. So yeah, I'm making 212 on the open trade for each account that I trade it with every time, trading 2 contracts. And then I took the opening trade on this PA6 as well, but I'm only trading it with 1 contract, so that's why it's half the amount. And yeah, so this account, I've only traded with the opening trade. I haven't done any of my other trades on this account. So I've traded it for 12 days, only trading the open trade, and I'm up 2,690 in 12 days. All right, so the thing that's just really annoying when I'm trading directly to the Apex accounts is I trade from multiple charts. So that means I have to remember to go to every single chart I'm trading and switch it to the account that I want to trade next, as opposed to being able to just do it in one window on the copier. So it's like instead of changing one thing, I have to go and change it in multiple places. Now, right now, I've only got one good chart, which is the one I'm looking at. And maybe that's a good thing for me for today. But I really, this again, it's not my usual routine. That I really like trading with the sim leader account, copying to the Apex account, and then I just have one window in the Replicanto window where I make my changes for what account I'm trading, and that way, no matter what I'm showing here in the YouTube window, you're always seeing what I'm trading. And it's just like that easy. Now I've got to like remember what I did in every single chart window I've got. So it's just more complicated. And I got to remember that this chart where I took this trade is not the chart I want to be on. I want to be on this chart right now. So let's see. I mean, definitely expecting a retest of the lows, I would say. And just out of curiosity, I didn't measure this earlier. It looks like it went beyond, well beyond. And then on the way down, I would measure here. So that's the expectation as far as the measured move. I mean, you can even argue that this could be one leg, and then that takes you down to the bottom. So kind of have both those things in mind. We're kind of around one version of a measured move, but it could be the bigger one, and likely is because it makes sense to test the bottom, in my opinion. Saggy says close to passing the Alp account. Yeah. So this one, I mean, I really could probably do it in one more trade if I go to 3 contracts, but I'm not sure I want to do that. I think I'm more likely, since I trust the trade so much, more likely to stick with the 2 contracts and need 2 more trades. And I'll be able to just do 1 contract on the last trade probably to pass it. And then I'm close on these 2. I'm 425 away here, and just a little bit less than 500 here. And I'm close on this one too. Like what, 350 away there. So they're all close, which is good. All right, so going to see if I can find any more charts. It'd be easier for me to stick with what I usually do with the sim account and copying. to the Apex account. Makes everything so much smoother and easier. And it's really only because I'm doing this on YouTube that it matters. If I wasn't doing it on YouTube, I wouldn't need to do this. The only reason the only reason I thought to do it was because I just have this one window for one chart to show on YouTube, so that it can be big and you can see it. If I'm showing all the charts I'm looking at, like all the charts would be so small, it would be a bad viewing experience, I think. And already sometimes, I've gotten comments that the chart that I'm already showing is small, so it's just not really an option. And so that's the only reason it makes it easier, because then this chart just can be on the sim as well. And everything you see on sim is the same as when I take a trade on Apex. But if I'm gonna take trades like this and it's gonna rattle me, that it doesn't take it on the Apex account, and I'm gonna do something stupid like I did and jump into this trade, then I just then I can't do it that way. Which sucks. All right, I'm not seeing charts. Saggy, have you ever had a chance to go check out Alpine stream at all? Since you always hear me talk about him, I'm curious if you have ever gone over there. Or if there's anyone else here. If you've been by my stream and hear me talking about Alpine, I'm curious if any of you also watch him or check him out. Since he's just been kind of a game changer in the way I go about things on Apex. Yeah, Sagi says, I was on the Alpine Trader stream. That guy's payouts are huge. Yeah. Yeah, when you see someone like him doing what he's doing, it's hard not to pay attention and think like, is there something I can learn or take from that and use for my own trading? Yeah, Sai says, for me, money is motivation. I agree. When you see someone else being able to do something and make money doing it, And you see like, okay, it's possible. Like they're doing it. There's no reason I can't do it too. Yeah, Sagi says he can do that means after some years I will do that. Exactly. I feel the same exact way. So that's why I'm just like a big proponent of his, because I don't think anyone was really out there, definitely not in the YouTube space, and trading their prop firm accounts the way he does, the way he treats them. And to me, it was kind of like a revelation or a game changer, right? He was kind of like the first one doing it on YouTube and getting big payouts. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some other people getting way bigger payouts that aren't on YouTube, or at least not that I'm aware of. But, you know, that are like private people, and you see their payouts on the Apex website payout. And, you know, there's multiple people that have made $1 million or more, and other people that have made upwards of that. So Alpine's not at that level, but he's the one doing it on YouTube where, you know, I've been able to actually see it happen. And I've seen the progress go from when he started. And I remember him talking about his first payout on Apex, all the way to the point he's at now. So, you know, he's really, you know, went from only one payout and blowing up a bunch of accounts to where he is now in less than a year. But he was trading for 6 or 7 years before he even started on futures. So he had a lot of experience going into it. All right, so I'm really not seeing any other charts. So the only thing I can do is kind of, let me look at these charts as if I'm only going for 11 ticks and see if that changes my view on things here. That's what I do. I look for charts that are going for more than 11 ticks, and I'll go for more than 11. And then if I can't find those charts, then I'll start looking for charts that at least work for 11. Sagi says he can do that means after. Oh yeah, I already read that. All right, bro. Plus 127 on one micro. Done for the day. Suit smart, brother. Great day. All right, Sagi. Good job. Nice comeback after yesterday. And have a good night. And hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Finish out the week strong on a Friday. Yeah, appreciate you always being interactive with me, commenting. Right. Good night, Sagi. So not really clear what's going on here. Came just shy of the measured move if measuring it this way. But to me, it does look like we went 2 legs down, and so now we've gone 1 leg up. So not entirely sure here. All right, so just not really sure. I was expecting to retest the low, honestly, on this push down. I thought it would go down there, even if there was a little pullback to the EMA and keep going. But now that we're above the open price again, we already had 2 legs down, even though it was just shy of the measured move. That almost makes me feel like, okay, this could be another push up now. So I'm not really looking for shorts, even though there's already a first entry short. So there could be a second entry short. This chart has been working and consistent, hasn't taken any losses yet on this chart. So I would like to trade this chart, but I'm not really a fan of this spot to go short at the moment. So I'm just going to hang and wait for an entry I believe in. So yeah, so if anyone's joining me and wasn't here earlier, I explained that I did YOLO this account 35 on the open. So I YOLO'd it 10 contracts, going for 61 ticks, trying to pass it in 1 day. It didn't work, but the same trade, which is the standard trade for the open, did work. So if you're looking at this red and wondering why my stats say 2-0 for the day, instead of 2-1, it's because of just the reason that the trade as it's supposed to work did work, and then the YOLO aspect of it on the extra account, it lost on that account, but only because I was going big, trying to pass in one day. So 1 day, 1 trade. So that's the only reason it doesn't count as a loss in my strategy or in my stats here, in case anyone's wondering out there. All right, so this is kind of starting to work the way I'm expecting. Working up. Feels like the 2 legs down completed. Now it's working up. I mean, maybe potentially do something like that. I don't know. Just speculating. Still not seeing any other charts that I can trade with for my system. I'm listening to Alpine in my ear, trying to catch up on double speed. So I'm behind where he is live, if he's still live right now, but he sounds very frustrated today. Seems like all the drama is maybe getting to him right now. Yeah, so I legitimately just have no more charts I could trade for my system. So I'm just going to focus on the one chart that I have. Right now, there's a first entry. Next time it ticks under a candle or bar, it'll be a second entry short. It won't be a short I can take above the EMA going right into it if it happens anytime around here. So there's, I think there's a very high possibility that this triggers right now and then maybe it doesn't work. I lose this chart. We'll see. But I'm not taking this going right into the EMA. It's already trying to work. It's really close to my profit target and it just worked. Okay. So we'll see what happens here. At least the chart is still good. So I still have a chart to work off of. If the chart went bad, I might consider switching to the 1 minute chart and just trying to freelance a little bit. But let me just putting an order just to see. Okay, 2 contracts. Just making sure everything looks legit. All right, so this doesn't look like that's happening anymore. So maybe this ultimately will end up being the bigger move. Maybe something like that. could even make an argument that maybe it's going to be something like this. So we'll see. Because now the two legs is kind of looking like it could be one big leg and going for another big leg, get the new low. And that kind of makes sense to me. So it's just a matter of let's see what happens at the opening price. Oh. Last week was definitely a much better week in terms of opportunities for trades for my system. This week has been a little dry. So thank God for that opening trade. Yeah, that's 4 trades this week out of the 6 that I've taken. And should get one more tomorrow. So it's nice to be able to count on that trade every single day, 5 trades a week. And if things continue to go how they are, I mean, it's just like a real kind of like saving grace to be able to add that to my trading. And then I know there'll be weeks like last week still, I got 12 trades with my regular system last week, and the 5 from the open trade. So, weeks like last week will still happen. And then it's nice to know I don't have to really push it too far on weeks like this, where I'm only getting a couple trades from my BS system. That doesn't feel like I have to push harder because I don't have any trades otherwise. So all in all, it's all good. Still, I gotta remember 6-0. A 6-0 week for me is still outstanding. I mean, it wasn't that many months ago where, I was lucky to have sometimes 1 trade in a whole week on the ES, or like 2 trades. So it's easy to like have a 17-0 week last week and be like, okay, that's how I want it to be every week. But for my style of trading, 17-0 is spectacular. So I can't expect that every week. But if I can have a consistently high win rate, I mean, 100% this week again, but it doesn't necessarily have to be 100%. I'm going to get to where I want to get to. It's just a matter of how fast does it take. And at some point, when I build up my PAs more, then obviously I'll be able to copy trade. And the funny thing with the copy trading is, for whatever reason, Replicanto, when I use a leader account that's an Apex account and I copy to Apex accounts, like 0 issues, like with the opening trade, right? Like I copied from evaluation 36 to the other accounts I traded at the same time, and 0 issues. But when I go from a sim account to Apex, things like this where I didn't fill on the Apex account, or in the previous version I was getting some slippage. Maybe it didn't fill because maybe it was not letting me get that slippage, and therefore it missed the trade on the Apex account. I don't know. Because if there was slippage on the entry, maybe that wouldn't have worked on my Apex account. I'm not really sure, but it is just kind of interesting. So at some point when I'll feel a lot more confident when I'm copying, from one PA to another PA and doing like two at a time or something. I'll be more confident that the copier is not going to have any issues. But right now I'm feeling a little bit unsure about it, going from a sim account to the Apex account. I remember too, like, I've seen, I forget where I heard it from, but I've seen people say don't copy from a sim account, that there's issues, months and months ago. So I don't know if it's just like a thing, but I just want to be careful with it. It's fine on days where like this won't affect me, but for whatever reason today affected me. And I'm not sure. How do you know when it's going to affect you or not? Is it one of those days where it's going to affect me, or is it one of those days where I'm not going to care? Today it was one of those days where it affected me, and I jumped in on that other trade and just was fortunate to come out with a winner on it. All right, I got to take a few minute break here, and I'll be back in a couple minutes. All right, I'm back. My daughter just really wanted me to help get her ready for school, so I had to step away there. So what am I doing? I was going to trade 34. So it's just been chopping range. There's a first entry, second entry on the chart that I'm looking at, which is not this chart. All right, so this might be like this. First entry, second entry would have worked. That's a trade I won't take into the EMA. So not a trade I could have taken. There was a first entry, second entry short right into the EMA, which I couldn't have taken. So basically, I didn't miss anything in terms of trades I could have taken. So I'm thinking that, but if it's not that, then it's still this, which means it was basically fulfilled. I'm going to just go with that. That's what this price action makes me think. It's one leg, two legs. Now we're in some chop, but maybe it's, seems like this. One leg, two legs. That was a perfect measured move. And now we've got one leg down, two legs down. Yeah, it's a range, right? I mean, it's just this. We're in this range. So I'm very likely to buy another evaluation tonight. And YOLO it again like I did evaluation 35. So don't be surprised tomorrow if I do the same thing. The reason why is because now with this opening trade and the way I've been trading lately, I really want to up the amount of PAs I have. I know I'm going to be building up in fees more, costing myself more money before I've even had a payout. But what I really like, what makes me really comfortable is trading with backup PA accounts. So like if I have more in place, then no matter what happens to any one of them, it just takes the pressure off the trades. And so I would like to just have a few, and then that way I could trade like two with the opening trade, and then I can trade the other ones with my normal system. So I'm considering that. Or I might just wait until Monday and see how things go tomorrow and just try it one more time on Monday and see if I pass. And if I pass on Monday, maybe I'll try one more on Tuesday, on the last day of the current promo. And that's an example of why it doesn't matter if everyone's trading the open trade or not. I mean, like I won on some accounts, I blew up one account because I was YOLOing. So, that goes towards that conversation. But yeah, anyway, don't be surprised if I try this again. I was within $500 or $600 of passing this today before it turned around on me. And then, of course, the standard opening trade still worked. So it was a winning trade. It's just that I was trying to pass it one trade. A bigger picture, I mean, huge gap from the previous day close. Not the kind of day where you're expecting to fill the gap, really. I didn't even realize it's already almost 9. So 2 legs down, 2 legs up, in chop. See what happens. What I could do is can make my chart smaller potentially and trade the 1 minute too. This was the trade that lost. All the way down here was up like $2,500, and then it came back and took me out of the trade before it would have worked. Like if it just did this move all in one candle, I would have had a past eval today. You just switch over to the 1 minute, see what it looks like here. I mean, this is definitely tradable for scalping. It'd be really great if I can get PA6 to a payout. $600. Past all or the majority of these evaluations that are active. And then be able to concentrate more on trading PAs. So right now I'm a little bit more focused on these evaluations, but also just because of the opening trade. It'd be great if all this kind of happens at the same time for me. We'll see what happens, but I mean, it's kind of ironic. Like I don't want to be building up more fees for myself. You know, I talked about it the last couple of days. I'm in for about $2,200 or $2,300 to Apex for all my fees to date with no payouts. So it's not like I want to just start burning evaluations like this, like I did today. It's not really the thing to do, $30 at a time. You know, I mean, if I were to do that for the next 4 days, that's $120 on top of what I already owe with no payouts yet. So it's really the kind of thing I wanted to wait and not do until after I've got my money back, you know, or be in profits. But the way things are going, I kind of just decided to try that today since it renewed last night and reset. So I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on whether I want to continue to try that the next few days, or maybe I'll just wait until I've taken care of these accounts and then do it on the next promo for the 1 day pass, whether they continue it or it comes back another time. But no matter what happens, what I very likely will do is I'll get like 3 or 4 evaluations before the end of the 80%, and then just trade those the same way I've been trading these current evaluations, and just build it up over, 10 to 15 days or whatever it is. Use them mostly on the open trades, and then meanwhile be working on the PAs at the same time, copy trading. So it's kind of the plan right now. All right, is this market gonna try to make a move to the upside? Where are we at on the daily? I mean, it would make sense for there to be just this little pullback and then make another attempt, and then probably get rejected for a second entry short on the big chart to get sent back down for a retest of the low. In theory. All right. Still got this one good chart. Just not a whole lot of opportunities. Plus I was away a little bit, but I didn't see any opportunities while I was away either. So really, haven't seen any entries I've liked since this one that only filled me on my sim leader. And then this one that I took that was not a great trade, but ended up working out for a win. So ever since up here, there's just been nothing for my system in all of this on my charts. What does the 1 minute look like again? Just kind of a mess. I mean, don't really have a real good idea of what the market's trying to do. It definitely feels like it has, an upward bias to it overall. Just going to stay patient. I mean, I've already done, what I've been kind of doing the last few days. So if this is where it's at, then that's where it's at. I did trade one less trade on the open just because I had done the YOLO. So I didn't want to, if it turned out to be a losing trade across the board, I didn't want to risk all but one evaluation. So that way I knew I was going to have two evaluations that were good regardless. That I could trade with again tomorrow. So yeah, I think probably tomorrow what I'll do is I'll just trade my normal way. I'm not going to get another evaluation right away in YOLO. Let's see what happens with the accounts that I trade on the open. And then for Monday, I'll make a decision whether I want to give another shot on a YOLO account for another $30. Because I got to remember too, if I do pass all of these, I got all these fees that are coming my way. Because I'm going to do lifetime fees because, likely the way I've been trading, it seems like I am. Like all of my accounts have been longer than 1 month so far. If that changes over time, then I'll go to the monthly fee. But let me just think. So we're talking 140, 280, another 310, 410, for $550 in fees if I pass all of these. So then now we're talking about being closer to $3,000 in total fees without a payout. And then if I do get a payout here, that gives me half the money back, or a little bit more than half the money back with a $1,500 payout. So that might make sense. And then I can work on 50 KPAs. If I get one payout on that, that puts me over the top. If I get two, then I'm in profit for sure. So this thing is making a move up. Still no entries for me. Could look at it potentially as one leg, two legs like this. We've gone beyond it now. Like two legs in one. So this could be a reversal spot potentially. But no setup for me. Look at that sell off right at this perceived measured move. So kind of makes sense. It's funny. It felt like a lot of action early on for me. Then, yeah, when did I try to take this trade? 719, 720-ish. Had the open trade, all that excitement of that. And then I took this trade right after this one because it only filled on sim. Won that trade. And then it's just been dry as can be ever since. I'm looking forward to the time when I can just jump over to the 1 minute chart and feel a little bit freer to just take some trades just based on intuition and reading the price action. But I don't feel like I'm in a place to quite really do that yet. I want to just stick to my strategy, stay within my system, and keep doing what I'm doing to work on these accounts that I've been working on. Such a strange day. It's kind of choppy and doesn't seem like it has any kind of direction. It's, up bias overall since a little bit after the market opened, but just doesn't seem to quite be able to get anywhere without getting hit with some sell-offs. There's just no potential trades for me right now. I guess there's kind of an argument I can make. I don't know. Could I look at it like one leg, two legs? That would be interesting. That would take me back to the previous day low. Which seems like that's what the market's trying to do right now, right? So that might be interesting. That might make sense. All right, so I'm going to keep my eye on that measured move. It seems like it's wanting to go for it. Doesn't really mean I have an opportunity to trade it. And it's already 9:19, so I'm going to give it another 10 minutes and call it a day. It would have been so awesome if I passed that evaluation 35 in one day. One day, one trade. I think it would probably work a lot of times. I mean, to go 61 ticks on 10 contracts in a straight shot, like today felt like the kind of day like I really thought it was probably going to work. I mean, it was such a sell-off. Had the big news that sent the market down. Such a sell-off. I think the only thing working against me today was just the low of day. So once I had a low of day, it was an obvious place for a bounce to be attempted. And that's what took me out of the trade. But for as much as that happened, like it could have just been this candle, boom, and it would have been a winner for the YOLO. Actually, yeah, this is the one that, what I'm showing you obviously is the one that worked for 22 ticks, but it didn't work for my 61 ticks. I got Alpine in my ear. Apparently he's starting to trade ES and try it out right now. He's going backwards for me. I went from ES to NQ and found a better edge, and he just got a win on ES and he's happy about it. Saying he's going to switch to ES. It's pretty funny. Look at this thing. I mean, it's making a rush for that measured move. Like, these are the times it's like, you wish you could just, or me, I wish that I could just look at this and decide, like, yeah, I see a measured move. I'm just going to enter for it to go to the measured move. But, that's not a high probability trading strategy, because a lot of times it'll come up short of a measured move and you won't get there, and then you'll lose. Or there'll be a major pullback in between. And, can you stay in the heat? Is he trading the ES or the MES? He's on ES. Just going up for that measured move. Just hit the buy button, right? Just hit buy. And sell when you get to that measured move, or just before the measured move. So then again, going back, I'd made this measured move down, came up a little bit shy, and I made a comment that if it comes up shy, a lot of times it can go further the other way. And that's how it played out. But in this chop, it's like, how do you really know that? And at what point do you get in? Yeah. Curious if I measured it on the 1 minute chart. It's the same deal. Same deal. But yeah, I think it's going to go up here. It might take some pullbacks before it does, but I think it'll do it. It's funny, if I had had this evaluation 35, if I didn't YOLO it and I had it right now, I probably would have just blindly bought just to go for this measured move once I found it, because it would have been an account I didn't care about, as you can see from the fact that I yielded it. But I don't have any accounts that I feel like I want to do that with right now. But yeah, this thing it's going to get there. Yeah. All right. I think I'm just going to call it. Like, I don't see any setups for me coming up. And I'm tired. I'm over it. And I need to get my head right to finish out the week strong and not do anything stupid and mess up my 2-week streak here. So thanks for everyone who's made it this far to the stream, or anyone that watches this far later. And don't forget the 80% discount. Use this code or any other. Just make sure you use the code. 1 day pass going on. Half price resets until April 30th, which is beginning of next week. And check out my live stream every day, 7 Eastern till about this time, 12:30 Eastern. And like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm on my way to doing what I want to do with these accounts. Don't look at this. This doesn't matter. This account didn't exist yesterday, and it doesn't exist tomorrow. So it's the other 4 evaluations I've been concentrated on, as well as the 3 PAs, and gonna work towards passing these coming up in the next couple of days, as well as hopefully get my first payout, 600 away. So closing in on it, 1 trade at a time. Just putting the open on it every morning, $100 at a time, and should be able to get there in about 6 days. All right, so the open trade continues to be a beast. 12-0, going for the regular scalp size with regular contracts, and 2-0 for the day, 6-0 for the week, 200 wins, 45 losses on the year, 82%. And tomorrow I'll just play it straight and not do what I did today. We will not YOLO 10 contracts for 61 ticks tomorrow. Keep it cool and clean. I'm sure it'll probably work tomorrow since I'm not doing it. I'll look at it and go, why didn't I do it? I should have done it. But just thinking about it out loud, like I was saying earlier, and realizing, okay, yeah, if I have 4 accounts that I have to pay PA fees for, I'm looking at $500. Probably not the best time to just be wasting $30 at a time, right as that's about to happen. So I'm going to chill. I wanted to try it once. I tried it. I came within $600 of passing, and then it just didn't quite work out, but it was close. It was a good day to try it, I think, at least. It was a pretty solid move. So let's see. Did I say it all? I think I said it all. All right. Appreciate everyone that's watching. Please do like and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I'll be back at it tomorrow, hopefully, to finish up the week strong. 6-0 week coming off the back of a 17-0 week last week. I'll get that opening trade in the morning. And if things continue the way it's going, I'll be 7-0 to start the day tomorrow on stream. And then we'll see if I could get a couple more wins with my usual strategy and see where I end up for the week. And see how close I get these accounts to passing and payouts by tomorrow, and then go from there for the next week. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Hope you had a good trading day and a good trading week.